yesterday, I guess, I don't know what happened. I guess my brain maybe got used to how she's speaking. So I start um, picking up on a lot of things that she was saying. And she was saying, she was saying blood clot and all that stuff. So I know I know slang in almost every culture. So at a young age, I wanted to figure out, trash talk in other cultures. So not to use it, but just to understand when people talking crazy to me, so I can know when to silently, cut up on them. But anyway, I can't do that with her, of course. But so, she was talking about blood clot and all this stuff, and then I'm finally honing in on the conversations that are happening on the phone for whatever reason. Like everything became more vivid, which she didn't understand, but I was telling her my senses was starting to become overwhelmed because she asks a lot of questions. She talks almost nonstop. That phone is almost nonstop. Now, she seems like a sweet lady and she's a hard worker, and this isn't me knocking her or anything. I'm just telling the story. But then she goes on to say, um, this made me think she was watching my videos. Now, I'm not that self-centered to think that everybody just watching what I'm saying. I only be registering a couple hundred views, but um, I do know I'm Shadow Man. I got proof of that. But other than that, she was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, can't no man beat me. And I'm like, where is all this energy coming from? Why am I understanding this now? And so it was making me frustrated or whatever. Like I said, I started hearing clearly what was coming from the phone. They was using Jesus a million times, and I was like, it started to grieve me. Like, I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. I know some people feel the same way with other people, but when people overuse certain things, it grieves my spirit for whatever reason. So I kept hearing Jesus, and then I was like, man, it just sound like they using the name of the Lord in vain on there. She ain't really speak on that. Um, and then this one I thought we was having like some issues or whatever. I heard baby boy at some point, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if it was because I wasn't flirting or whatever. But I think her friend was on the phone. I think her friend was interested or something. And then she was like, he young, or he like younger. So I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, this is crazy. So anyways, I'm starting to hear this lady a whole lot more. And anyways, I'm not having an issue with her at all. But just seeing all these different things on top of it not being a very big workspace, it is overwhelming. And a lot of people don't understand I deal with them things. This is just hypersensitivity, knowing what neighborhood I'm in, like all this different stuff going on. And I honestly feel like that's why, I definitely need to, strengthen my prayer life. And, that's for anybody who, goes into, certain environments and they just, like, it's not necessarily you take on the environment, but you can sense different things. I like the way people explain it because it's like they got more experience and they're able to, analyze certain things when people talk about them. Um, but with all that being said, um, yeah, so as I said, man, like that day was just interesting. But then at the end of the day, she starts cleaning. I don't know if I wasn't moving fast enough or whatever. But as I was trying to say earlier, like she was slowing down the, processing a little bit, um, with it being such a small workspace, and then I was being overstimulated by all the noise. That's the reason why I put in my headphones a lot of times, just to, like, I want to hear what I want to hear. Like, I don't, hearing everybody talk, and then you got music, and then you got street sirens, you got all this different stuff. And so, sometimes I keep the earbuds in just to try to stay in my own world as much as possible. I'm still aware of certain things, but I'm not, you know, trying to take in all of that. I want, you know, what's being fed into me to be, you know, what I want it to be. And so, and anyways, towards the end of the shift, she goes to start cleaning. As I said, I guess I wasn't moving fast enough. And then it was like blood on the table from the chicken she was cutting. I was washing the dishes. There was blood on the table. And then it was like, she goes to start lifting up the table, and I just see all this chicken blood running towards me. I'm like, hold on. Like, and so I kind of, like, I wasn't aggressive, at least in my, but anybody that be around Caribbeans, like, they got an aggressive tone. So I don't feel like I was too aggressive for her. But I think she did eventually understand because, like I said, I stopped. I'm like, hold on, that's chicken blood. Like, let me get out the way or something. She's like, you're not listening. I'm like, I ain't hear nothing that you said. At this point, I didn't have any earbuds, just for context. I'm like, I ain't hear nothing that you said. And so I went outside, sat outside a little bit, and then I came back in and I apologized. I was like, if I was, you know, aggressive in any type of way, I didn't mean to. It was just, it's blood. I didn't want that on me while I'm, you know, already getting wet from washing dishes. Like, that's a whole nother substance I got to worry about feeling sticky and icky about. Like, and anybody who try to take that and mince into what it is like, if you don't work outside, you know, I can understand why internet guys would laugh at that. But if you don't work outside, you don't understand, like, having wet shoes, like, that stuff don't feel good. It just don't. Having wet drawers, it don't feel good. I don't know what's worse, wet socks or wet drawers. Like, and that's not for nobody, because there's some sexually perverted people out there talking strictly work. But with all that being said, we went through that. I just wanted to clear that up with her. And I don't know, because I tried to, you know, play nice. So, you know, I was being kind of extra nice after that. I mean, I wouldn't say play nice, but I tried to, you know, make up for, you know, kind of my aggressive tone. Like, hold on, don't pour that blood on me. Like, but I don't know if she was, you know, trying to insinuate things after that. Because after that, I seen the flip-flop come off, and then she was like, I need to, I need to wash my foot. Oh, like, this lady is hilarious, bro. Like, but I'm glad that God opened my ears to, you know, the different things that she's saying. I'm becoming more in tune with it, just because I don't like being in an environment where I don't understand people. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what you're saying, and so